From what I understand, I'm not completely clear on the actual law, but I'm assuming it's illegal to dump oil on the ground. It is polluting. It can really mess up an area. And after a while, when you generate 100 gallons of waste oil a year, you honestly run out of places to dump it.
My name is Barbara Brown. I'm 19 years old, and I'm currently living in Anchorage, Alaska, and going to school at Alaska Pacific University, but I'm originally from Victoria, Texas. Don't Be Crude began when I was in 6th grade, and myself and two friends, Kate Klinkerman and Lacey Jones, were deciding one day on something to do for a 4-H project for that year. Kate had noticed that her father had poured oil on a fence post, and so we decided to find out why he does it and what it does to the ground, because we noticed that it chars the ground whenever you pour it.
They had seen a practice being taken place out in rural Victoria County where ranchers and farmers were utilizing used motor oil or used motor fluids, and they weren't really disposing of them in a proper manner.
People who were dumping used motor fluids on the ground were farmers and ranchers, people who lived in rural areas. And the reason that we found from just asking was that to them it's convenience, and they don't know any better. It's something that their family has always done. Their father did it before them, so they don't think anything of it.
You would dump around any post, any wood post in the ground, and keep the bugs off of them and keep them from rotting. But you just have to find ways to get rid of it. And I have to admit, they mostly consisted of dumping it on the ground.
When you dump a pint of oil, it can create a slick on a body of water the size of a football field, and that when you dump a gallon of used oil, that it can pollute over 250,000 gallons of water, which is enough water to supply a small city for one day. When Kate, Lacey, and I decided to start the Don't Be Crude program, we had to overcome many obstacles and work through the governmental process of starting a program within our county.
I didn't think originally that it would hold water, but the more I talked to Barbara, the girls, the Don't Be Crude organization, things were right. Things fell in, and they had their place.
It was very interesting to work with local residents, local farmers, because a lot of them didn't believe that we were going to be able to pull this off. We were just 6th graders.
I remember when they first started this project, the 3 girls that were involved, and they were pretty young, and it seemed like a pretty big project, but I really thought the project would work. I didn't know if it could be maintained.
Being best friends, it was easier for us to rely on each other and know that we could do it because we told ourselves we could. We had to go to different people within the community to talk to people about the importance of recycling oil and how we were going to set it up and make it possible for them to be able to recycle. We had to do a lot of educating, talking to people within the city, out in the rural areas, all over the state.
Then they wrote off for several grants and received a lot of additional funding to purchase some recycling units that they placed in all the precincts in the county.
As more people asked questions, more people learned about it. And it went on its own, and it started developing and expanding.
I saw the sincerity in their eyes and the integrity of continuing the program that they were working on. So we funded an additional $20,000 for their program.
Now we're to the point that we're in 7 counties and have 21 containers, and it's recognized on a statewide level as well as a nationwide level. The site we are at now is in Woodhigh Community. It's very obviously a farming community, and this site is our original do-it-yourself recycling center. This site was given to us by the Texas Commission on Environmental Quality, TCEQ, and it is a do-it-yourself recycling center, which is a 460-gallon tank where the farmers and ranchers can bring their oil to and dump it instead of dumping it on the ground. It's just an easy drain system. And so farmers and ranchers are able to bring however much oil they have and put it into these containers. When U.S. Filter comes by to collect the oil from each of our sites, they take it back to their company in San Antonio, and the oil is actually put into a decanter which cleans the oil, takes the dirt out of it, takes any leaves or grass or anything that may have collected over the years in it. The oil then goes and is used to either make roadbed materials and for making asphalt, or it's used as a refined oil and reprocessed and sold again.
It gets a lot of use down here. I'd say it's clearly a success, and it's quite an accomplishment for the people that set it up.
Heroes are the trail guides who give us a sense along the way of just how far we can really go, or just how high we can really climb. Those are heroes. Those are the people who, again, tell us by their own lives, not by their words, but by their actions, that we have heroic potential too.